Would that be okay for you? Okay. Thank you. You ready? Okay. Good morning. This is the November 20th, 2025 meeting of the Southern Region Board of Review. This hearing is being held via WebEx video conference at the Perry B. Duryea Jr. State Office Building, 250 Veterans Memorial Highway, conference room 4A9A, Hauppauge, New York, 11788. The time is now, why is mine say 8:48? Time is now 9:06 and this hearing is officially open. The members of the board present today are Erica Schaub, Laura Buzlayman, Richard Pavone, and myself, Robert Peterson, Chairman. From the Department of State is Courtney Nation and CJ Ajoku. We will now hear the scheduled petitions. When you speak, please address the board and give your full name, title, and legal address so that our court reporter can have all the information requested. We may have to stop from time to time to consult with our technical staff. In making comments to the board, please provide a descriptive narrative on matters referring to your exhibits to enable the court reporter to enter these into the record. The first hearing is in the matter of petition number 2025-0769. Petitioner is Jason Rose. This petition pertains to an existing detached two-story single-family dwelling of wood frame construction. The dwelling is approximately 4,860 square feet in total gross floor area and is located at 898 Lakeside Drive, Woodmere, Town of Hempstead, County of Nassau, State of New York. Petitioner is seeking relief from 19 NYCRR, Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section AJ 801.2, which states that additions shall comply with the provisions of this code, except where required by this section. Unaltered portions of the existing building shall not be required to comply with this code. 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.2.1, Item 1, which requires that buildings and structures in flood hazard areas, including flood hazard areas designated as coastal A zones, shall have the lowest floors elevated to or above the base flood elevation plus 2 feet, or the design flood elevation determined in accordance with sections R322.1.4 through R322.1.4.1, whichever is higher. The petitioner wishes to construct additions that are structurally connected to the existing dwelling and are below the design flood elevation. And 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.2.2, which states in relevant part that enclosed areas, including crawl spaces, that are below the design flood elevation shall, 1, be used solely for parking of vehicles, building access or storage, and 2, be provided with flood openings that meet the following criteria and are installed in accordance with Section R322.2.2.1. Petitioner wishes to have additions with slab-on-grade floors located below the design flood elevation without flood openings. And lastly, 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.1.8, which requires that building materials and installation methods used for flooring, interior and exterior walls and wall coverings below the elevation required in Section R322.2 or R322.3 shall be flood damage resistant materials that conform to the provisions of FEMA TB2. The petitioner wishes to use non-flood resistant materials below the design flood elevation in the addition. Okay, gentlemen, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate it. As stated, my name is Louis Baldino, the architect for Mr. and Mrs. Rose, 898 Lakeside Drive in Woodmere. The existing dwelling is a two-story dwelling with a crawl space. And the proposed additions, both front and rear, are proposed to be, as stated, slab on grade. The base flood elevation is 8, design flood elevation of 10. The existing first floor elevation is currently at 9.2, with the crawl space at elevation 5.2. On the front of the dwelling, there is an existing open porch, open on one side. The two sides and the main front dwelling wall make up the 3 walls that surround the open porch. There's already an existing roof and there's an existing slab on grade currently. So with the front, we are proposing to enclose that front porch to add space to the existing living room, which will become the dining room, for a nice foyer and entry, and a much needed powder room. We will be utilizing the existing slab on grade and putting in a wood flooring system to raise it flush with the existing first floor. Currently, the slab is at, I'll use architectural dimensions, 9 foot 1 inch. The existing first floor, as stated, is at 9 foot 3 inch. So we're only raising that existing slab up 2 inches. And the reason why we're not using flood-proof materials is because we're extending the existing living room, which currently has a wood flooring material. And that will be an extension of that room. So to have two different floor types in a large space will not be architecturally correct. So that's the reason for those materials. In the rear yard, it's the same situation. We have a covered deck that we like to enclose, and that has also a slab on grade construction with the same elevation that will be installed in the front. The slab will be at elevation 9 foot 1 inch with a finished floor of 9 foot 3 inch. We know the design base flood elevation is 10. Obviously, to put a step in these rooms to meet that 10 would really make the project not worth doing. To have a step in the middle of a dining room and also to have a step in the middle of a bedroom addition. Also, the material in the back addition will be the same material that's in the current bedrooms, which we are extending, which is again, a wood floor material over an existing crawl space. That's kind of the project in a nutshell, if that helps. And my apologies if I'm not giving the board all the information as required. I've been an architect for many years, but this is my first time doing a state variance. So it's a little bit of a learning curve for me as well.
You did fine, Lou. Everything's fine. We're just going to have some questions and we'll talk it out.
Sure. Thank you.
So what's the status of the project now? Is the construction underway?
There was a construction permit issued. I'm going to defer to the owner for the time frame. Jason, was that about a year ago or more, or does it have a C of O?
The C of O we got April of 23 for
Okay.
the work that we did.
What was that for?
That was for I did a big construction job in this house and remodeled the entire house.
Yeah, we had an application into the town for remodeling of the interior floor plan within the existing footprint, relocating the kitchen, the garage area, and the bedrooms on the west side where there was an interior renovation.
So none of that work that has a CO is reflected in the plans on this application? This is a different project?
No, if you look at Chairman, sheet A 1.1, you'll see a plans to the left where it has existing first floor and existing second floor. That reflects the current layout of the property now, which is the result of the interior renovation. I do not have on these plans the original plans prior to this work, but this is how the house stands now. You can see that. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what about exterior work?
Exterior work, there was siding and windows that were changed.
And there was an extension on the second floor done also.
So as part of this variance request, you have a enclosed porch or a partially enclosed porch, and you have a rear addition, correct?
Correct.
That's not part of the CO work that you received the permit for. All right, so under this application, because you're giving us construction estimates that don't seem to align with the drawings and the elevation. So we're trying to get a handle on what work you're performing now under this application to deem whether it's not a substantial alteration and whether it's a candidate for a variance. So
Okay,
just to be,
I
we're
want
talking
to
about
ask
the
you,
enclosure.
I'm sorry, I want to ask you
Good.
about the owner, about the covered porch. Jason, was that roof part of that original application? The
Yes.
porch itself? It was.
Yes, and piles and the foundation.
Okay, so the roof of the proposed covered entry was part of the CO issued in April, as well as the piers in the rear. That was
So
part
there's
of that.
there was no additions under the 2023 permit CO. It was just like a gut rehab type project?
No,
Was there any additions, any dormers, any expansion of the footprint or anything like that?
The covered porch.
and the second floor, we extended it. We took a peaked roof and we squared out the whole second floor. Not the whole second floor, it's just the left side of the house.
What would you say the level of alteration was at that time in 2023?
Level of alteration,
Percentage.
cost or percentage?
You have any,
I think Mr. Pavone is asking, talking about the increased floor area percentage?
no, just the percentage of, was it more than 50% renovation?
No,
Evaluation. Okay.
How are you deeming 50% renovation in square footage or value of home versus value of construction?
The value of the home itself is one issue, but the value of what percentage of, did it reach over 50% of the original dwelling that was there in 2022, 23, when that renovation was proposed to the building department and they issued a permit? I'm going to assume, and I don't have that answer, maybe you can say this, did they have an as of right permit issued by the building department?
Oh, yes, they did. Yes, yes.
we were under the fifth, excuse me for speaking. Hi, my name is Jason Rose, the owner, at 898 Lakeside Drive in Woodmere. The original construction was under the 50% rule. If we were able to, we would have done this addition then also, but that would have put it over the 50% rule. So we had to finish this and wait to get this done.
Thank you.
All right, so let's dig into it. We're talking about the addition stepping up. I think the departure from the freeboard requirement of 10 feet is about 8 or 9 inches, Lou?
That'll be 9 inches, sir, 9 inches.
9 inches.
Yeah.
So, and the argument is just that it's not a good architectural situation where you'd step up into a bedroom or a dining room. That's the argument, right?
Well,
Because
would
it can be done. It looks like,
half your bedroom will be at one level, and then when you reach the rear of the bedroom, you'll be stepping up to the rear of the bedroom in the front. If you see the existing floor plan, if you see that jog in the front wall, just imagine that jog having a step, and then half your room has a higher floor than the other half.
I mean, you could put steps in the hallway going to the bedrooms, you know? I get it. I totally get it. I mean, the 8, 9 inches is not a big departure from the freeboard, but I
Right.
just wanted to hear from you where the hardship is. Like, is it just a desired situation to have it flat? Or is there some kind of technical difficulties to putting steps in the hallway to get to that addition at the proper height?
All right,
know?
so if we did a step in the hallway or even in the bedrooms, over the existing west wing, there is a second floor. So we'll be
Yeah.
raising up the floor 9 inches. All of a sudden, our ceiling height now is only 7'3" on the first floor.
Would it be 7'3"?
It's 8 feet now, and we'd lose 9 inches.
Oh, I thought you had over 8 feet in your section. Maybe I didn't look at it close enough.
The existing,
I look at plans quick, but I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it was
they-
over 8.
8 foot, if you look at the section on sheet A2.2, that would be an 8 foot ceiling height. It says match existing. So that would end up being, in the front, it's 8'2", but on the bedroom side, it's only 8 feet.
Yeah,
as per
that's
that.
probably what I saw, yeah. So you wouldn't have a code compliant ceiling height.
It'd be very close. I believe the code is 7 feet now. Was it?
That's storage, right? 7.6,
No, 7 feet.
7 feet? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I add one more thing? This whole house was built because I'm preparing to have my in-laws be able to stay here. And my father-in-law is in wheelchair, and having the house in one level would just be the proper way to be able to provide the right care for him.
That's a good argument.
I can't have a step in the middle of the living room and
Yeah, no, the living room, dining room, I understand that because it's one big open space. All right, does anybody else have any questions regarding, no, how about the cost and the cost estimate? Do you want to discuss that? I think we have a submitted estimate of 50,000 for the work.
I
Anybody want to ask any questions?
defer to the owner on that. I think that's his contractor, if I remember, Jason. I'm not sure. I don't remember who that gentleman was.
right.
But
Well, there's not a lot of work here because the foundation and the roof is all done. The only work that's left to be done is build the exterior wall and demo the interior wall, which was all prepared during the first time that we did the construction.
On the front wall where we are looking to remove, on the original application that has the CO, I did design and it was installed a large structural header. If this hearing was approved, we would at least have that work already completed. So a large part of the structure is already completed from the prior application.
Mr. Coney, can you help me out with the FEMA requirements for the continuity of work? Like they did a 2023 project, which seemed like a significant renovation. They got that closed out, and then they have this piggybacked application that, based on the scope of work they're telling us, is significantly less than 50%. If those were combined, is there a time frame that we would combine the two and then try and assess it as one project and deem it, you know, a substantial alteration that way? Is that the way it should be looked at, or?
In the state code, there is no combination. It's per project. That's how the state code reads. As far as FEMA is concerned, I don't know their
Okay.
requirements. But as far as the state code is concerned, the evaluation of substantial alteration is per project. So if there's a culmination of projects that total more than 50%, that's not addressed in the state code.
Okay.
I have a question about insulation. About the insulation, there's 2 inches, right, between the slab on grade and the wood floor. So how are you gonna meet the thermal envelope requirements?
Underneath the proposed slab, as well as what's underneath the existing front porch slab, is a continuous 2 inches of rigid insulation as per New York State Code.
Underneath
Underneath,
the concrete slab?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, I see it.
If you look on section 2, you'll see the note. It has existing slab over 2 inches rigid insulation over 6 mil vapor barrier.
Okay.
And that was all inspected and CO'd again from the prior building permit application and permit.
was the previous 2023 permit reviewed by the same plan examiner?
I believe it was, Jason, right, Becky?
Yeah, Becky, but then it moved, I think, to Victor, but Becky has been involved in it.
I'm sorry, I don't know her last name. I just know her as Rebecca. Everybody calls her Becky. First?
Yeah.
So Rebecca did the first review and then Vinnie Albert did the second one? Because
With
he's
Becky.
the one that signed. Okay.
I know
Does
Becky
somebody
got
say yes?
promoted and she kept my folder with 2 other people's that she wanted to get it done before she moved to her new role.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was the last two items I wanted to discuss was the flood resistant materials. And then there was a variance request for the flood openings, which you guys aren't providing, right?
No, we're not providing, there's no crawl space in these proposed additions.
Okay,
Unless we are required to provide them in the existing. But I believe there's a statute in the code where we do not have to make the existing up to code if what we're proposing is not code. I could be wrong on that.
But would that have any significant impact on the building when the rest of the building doesn't have it?
what's the code trigger to go back into the existing building?
The code is worded kind of strangely. It talks about enclosed areas underneath, below the design flood elevation. Probably should say enclosed areas below grade and below design flood elevation. So conceivably, you can have an enclosed space above grade and above this design flood, but below the design flood elevation, and it would still require the flood openings. So for instance, a garage, well, that has an exception, but any enclosed space below the design flood elevation, I believe the code just says it needs a vent, a flood vent.
Well, we're talking about going back into the existing, like the crawl space underneath the existing house. Would that require flood vents?
Since that was legally existing.
Yeah, that's my point. So then we're just talking about the enclosure of the front porch and the rear addition.
Correct,
Right.
but both of which are below the design flood.
Yeah, both
So they require,
by 9 inches. So they're asking for a variance for that.
Yeah,
Right, but they're a slab on.
they're a slab on grade, so there's no undergrade
Yeah.
problem.
Okay, and then the flood resistant materials, we're talking about 9 inches, right, Lou?
Yes, correct.
So you have 2x4 walls. What type of insulation do you have in those walls?
It will be close.
Is it that or is it?
No, I wouldn't. I would not use that. It would be close cell. It'd be close cell.
Okay, so
We
that's
could-
good. Go ahead.
We could, if the board. I'm just kind of brainstorming here for a second. The wood, what's called sleepers in the construction industry. That's an ACQ material. It's a subterranean wood material. I don't know if the state considers that flood-proof material. It is wood, but it's like your average deck material. It can withstand the harsh conditions of the.
Yeah, it's rated for, it's like a rated for ground contact, but I don't think it's meant to be submerged in water and stuff like
No,
that. I don't know.
no,
You guys know.
Yeah.
And then you're putting in matching wood flooring? Is that the reason
Correct.
for the?
Yes,
Okay.
there's existing wood flooring on the entire first floor, or one level. Yeah.
is there anything we can do with the flooring that's, like, is there anything underneath the flooring we could put that makes it a little better, or is it?
Well, that's what I was saying, man. We could use pressure-treated sleepers, and I could use pressure-treated plywood before the wood gets installed. So out of that 3 inches that we are shy, 1.5 inches of those 3 inches would be moisture contact material, not flood-proof, but moisture contact allowed. I just don't like having ACQ material inside a home if we don't need to.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Is it possible to just Google
What am I Googling?
pressure treated lumber?
Oh, yeah.
Is it water resistant or flood resistant? But I mean, it defeats the purpose. We just talked about not putting an interior. But yeah, because it doesn't have arsenic anymore. It's got some other resistive chemical in it.
Yes, I believe that's why they changed it
It's
from
still-
CCA to ACQ.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's known as ACQ now.
But this work is not done yet, right, Lou? The sleepers aren't done
No,
at this time?
no, just the slabs. from the prior
So
application.
maybe there's another, like a PVC material, something you can use to build up the floor, or maybe do like I mean, what are we talking about?
Unless I can ask the owner now, Jason, your wood flooring is engineered, correct?
Correct.
And is it glued down?
It's glued
Or
down
just-
because
or just-
I radiant, yeah.
It's saying it's water resistant, not waterproof.
Well, we
Yeah.
could,
Is it used-
if the owner has engineered flooring that's glued down, then I could eliminate the sleepers and the decking and just we pour another slab 3/4 of an inch below the finished floor, and everything is
Yeah.
waterproof except the floor.
That's what I would do.
Perfect. Lightweight concrete, like a slurry, and make
Yeah,
up the difference.
exactly, yeah, or
Perfect.
self-leveling concrete. I can go up to a couple inches with the self-leveling concrete.
That works for me.
I like that idea. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, so we have
Yeah.
the closed cell, and then the drywall, maybe use like a water resistant drywall, like maybe like an MR board or some kind of water resistant
Yeah, or
drywall.
we could
Like
even use cement board for the first 2 feet and then sheet rock from there up.
Okay. All right.
I was gonna ask that as well, sounds like.
And then the 9 inches really doesn't affect any outlets or receptacles or anything like that?
No.
Because
Well,
they
the
have to be
ductwork
above
is-
the design flood elevation.
Ductwork is all from the
So,
ceiling.
Say again?
The ductwork comes
So
from the
the
ceiling.
ductwork-
Okay. Yeah, I was just talking about electrical. So there might be some conditions on the, on an approval. Any other questions from the board members?
No.
Was there any damage?
Yeah, that's,
Yes, there was damage during Sandy according to what they submitted. It looks like it was pretty significant.
let's ask the homeowner, unless he wasn't there 15 years ago. Mr. Rose,
Yes,
are we aware of any damage on the Sandy storm in 2012 or any
I
other
was-
storm?
yeah, I was aware of damage during Sandy.
You have any specificity on the magnitude of the damage or?
The front entrance of my house had, the front entrance came down a little bit. There was some disturbance over there, and that whole area during the construction was all rebuilt.
What did the town of Hempstead have listed for the property after Sandy? Was it green, yellow, or red in their OEM report?
I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
It's okay. They issued a report that's on file with the building department. That's part of the records. Anytime that you pull a permit or try to secure a permit, it actually tells the plan examiner and the applicant what the damage that they believe was, that happened back then. It usually says green, yellow, red, like
Lou,
a light.
do you know? I don't know anything about that, Lou.
No, I don't know. I don't know what they issued.
Was there floodwaters that came into the house? Do we know of? Was there a
No.
level of the water?
It got
No?
up to the high, almost the height of the house.
Almost to the finished floor?
Yeah, well,
Is that
maybe
the height of the house?
an inch below, maybe.
Did water
Okay.
come inside the house, Jason, or just the crawl space?
No, nothing.
But it came in the crawl space?
It was in the crawl space, yeah.
And the house has your typical crawl space vents, not flood vents, but what's required for air circulation.
Mhm. All right. Are we clear on this whole construction cost estimate thing, the 50,000 with the work that's being proposed? We're okay with that. It equates to like a 10 or 11% of the work. So it's not close to the 50. I think we got all our questions answered, so we're gonna go deliberate and come back with a decision. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you. Give us like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
Back on the record. Where am I? Okay, with respect to petition number 2025-0769, Mr. Jason Rose. Petitioner is seeking relief from 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section AJ 801.2, Section R 322.2.1, Item 1, Section R 322.2.2, and Section R 322.1.e. Board makes the following findings. Number one, the subject dwelling was constructed in 1954 and is located in a flood hazard zone currently designated as AE8. Number two, the existing first floor elevation is 9.2 feet NAVD 88, and the base flood elevation is 8 feet NAVD 88, according to an elevation certificate submitted with this application. Required design flood elevation is 10 feet NAVD 88 upon the addition of the New York State Freeboard. Number three, petitioner wishes to make a one-story habitable addition of approximately 330 square feet in area to the north of the existing dwelling. Number four, additions and modifications to the entrance at the south of the building have also been proposed. The petitioner had stated that the modifications in this area were approved under a separate permit and a final certificate issued in 2023. Number five, also modifications to the roof lines were performed under a previous as-of-right permit and is not under consideration by this board. Number six, the existing crawl space floor is below the design flood elevation and no new crawl space is proposed. All proposed additions under this application will have slab-on-grade construction. Number seven, the applicant has proposed a contractor's cost estimate for the work performed under this project and is not considered a substantial improvement. Number eight, for a non-substantial improvement, compliance to R322 of the 2020 Residential Code of New York State would require elevating the first floor additions by approximately 0.8 feet above the current existing first floor elevation. Number nine, the FEMA publication titled Substantial Improvement, Substantial Damage Desk Reference would allow non-substantial additions to be made without the need for elevation of the floor above the base flood elevation for buildings considered as pre-firm, built prior to 1969. And number 10, the local code official has given support to the petitioner's request for a variance to the Uniform Code's flood requirements in this matter. So with respect to 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section AJ 801.2, 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.2.1, Item 1, 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.2.2, and 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.1.8. The board finds that strict compliance with the provisions to Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code would entail practical difficulties or unnecessary hardship and would be physically or legally impractical. And the granting of this variance will not substantially adversely affect the Uniform Code's provisions for health, safety, and security. So wherefore, it is determined that the application for the variance from the provisions of 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section AJ 801.2, Section R322.2.1, Section R322.2.2, and Section R322.1.8, being is hereby proposed to be granted with the following conditions. Condition number one, that the addition by itself or coupled with any incidental construction taking place in this project shall not exceed the threshold for a substantial improvement. Number two, that all proposed additions shall have properly engineered slab-on-grade construction. Number three, that all materials for the addition and all new construction below the design flood elevation of 10 shall be of flood-resistant materials except for the floor finish. Number four, that any new electrical or mechanical equipment and devices shall be located above the design flood elevation or suitable for wet locations. And lastly, number five, that in all other respects, the applicable provisions of the Uniform Code, the current Uniform Code, shall be complied with. I need a motion to approve with these conditions.
Like the motion.
May I get a second? You have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is approved. Furthermore, it should be noted that the decision of this board is limited to the specific building and application before it, as contained within the petition, and should not be interpreted to give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application. So there you go, gentlemen. You had the approval with those 5 conditions. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
God bless you all. Thank you very much. One quick question, I'm sorry. About how long till the town of Hempstead will find this out?
I think we're running like 4 to 6 weeks to turn around a formal decision.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know about the holidays and all, but that's about how we're running with a written, formal, signed decision.
Okay, I pray.
The town can always call the regional office if they have
Okay.
any questions.
You're amazing.
Good
You
luck with
guys
the
are a
project.
crystal great. Thank
Thank
you
you, board. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank
you.
God bless all of you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take that.
All right. So we're going to go on to number 2. We have,
Just 1 minute. Am I doing the 2020 or 2021 code?
2020.
2020. Give me 30
21.
seconds. I went to,
No, it's part 20. Okay.
no, I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I just went to 20, it said 2021 on the website. Oh, give me 2 seconds.
we're going to see if the petitioners are here.
All right.
We have the architect, Alexander Khan.
I'm here.
Welcome today. And then we have Jerry Perino.
The owner's out of state currently.
So it's just you today?
Yes, it's just me.
Okay, great. So we're going to read this into the record and then we'll give you the floor, okay?
All right, thank you so much.
Okay. All right, you ready?
Give me, by the time you're ready.
Okay. Could he, just give us a couple of minutes. We're just drafting our summary here.
Sure. Take your time.
Anyone think?
Can I take you off record then?
Yes, you may.
Lola,
Okay.
can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. This is the second hearing in the matter of petition number 2025-0698. The petitioner is Alexander J. Khan for Jerry Perino. This petition pertains to a second floor addition to an existing one-story detached single-family dwelling, approximately 3,328 square feet in total gross floor area, inclusive of basement space. The dwelling is located at 28 Bonita Road, East Quogue, Town of Southampton, County of Suffolk, State of New York. Petitioner is seeking relief from 19 NYCRR, Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R 322.2.1, Item 3, which states basement floors that are below grade on all sides shall be elevated to or above base flood elevation plus 2 feet, or the design flood elevation as determined in accordance with Section R 322.1.4 through R 322.1.41, whichever is higher. And 19 NYCRR, Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R 322.2.2, enclosed areas below design flood elevation, which states in relevant part that enclosed areas, including crawl spaces that are below the design flood elevation, shall, 1, be used solely for parking vehicles, building access or storage, and 2, be provided with flood openings that meet the following criteria and are installed in accordance with Section R 322.2.2.1. The petitioner requests relief to maintain a basement and sunken living space with a floor elevation less than allowed. I think we got that.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Khan, you're up.
Okay. As presented, we have a second floor addition that was being added to the current one-story dwelling. There is existing sunken room and an existing unfinished basement, and the owner is looking to maintain the sunken room and unfinished basement as is. The flood elevation is AE8, and the house is meeting the design flood elevation of 10 that is required. And the sunken room floor level was, I believe, 7.5. And the basement would be 1 foot elevation per the flood elevation certificate.
Basement is at elevation 1? Did I hear that correctly? Or
Yes.
2?
Yes, it would be a 1 foot per the NAVD 88 datum. So the basement is existing. We're looking to do any construction in the basement and the same as the sunken room.
All right, I'm a little behind here, so if you guys want to start asking questions, trying to,
I have pictures if you would like to see the basement area.
can we just talk about the project, how you got here and the construction that's going on and where you stand?
Sure. Well, the main construction is a second floor addition, which all are elevated above the 10-foot required design flood elevation. The main purpose of the state variance request is to maintain existing floor elevations, which are non-conforming flood elevations.
Is this a substantial improvement case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
All the new construction is on the second floor. The non-conforming is on the existing first floor to remain.
What's the level of construction, operation level?
The level of construction, the first floor is at 10 foot.
No, not, I mean, the operation level, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's a second floor new addition, so that would be level 3, right?
do we have a cost of construction here on the magnitude of the work? So you're adding an addition,
It's gonna exceed 50%. There's substantial construction.
so that's the code
Right.
trigger, that's,
Yeah, we're not refuting that at all. That's 100% where it's substantial construction.
and that's the code trigger for the variance request for the sunroom and the basement. Is
Correct.
that correct? Okay.
Yes, correct.
So is there a hardship or reason why you can't raise that floor in the sunroom? Because you got a good ceiling height in there. Right, you're at AE8, the
Yes.
BFE is 8, and the DFE is 10, and the sunroom is at 8.6.
I mean, the hardship,
You're in the freeboard. Go ahead, sir.
the hardship is the added construction costs for raising the floor.
I'm sorry, are you saying that it is substantial, it is more than 50% and you're not raising your house?
So
Like
this-
beyond the basement?
Yeah, so this home is a unique situation. I've been doing architecture for about 20 years, and most of the projects I've dealt with in the flood zone needed to be raised house. But luckily for the client, the house was already at the 10-foot design flood elevation as required. So the house does not need to be raised. And in such, the existing basement and existing sunken sunroom, we're looking to maintain it as is. The house is not being raised.
So the first floor meets
The
the
first,
design,
correct. Yes,
except for the
Except for-
sunken sun.
yes, except for the sunken sunroom,
And the
correct.
basement.
And
And-
definitely the basement.
And the basement, yes.
So then my line of questioning was with regards to the sunroom, if you do step down, you have 2 rises and 1 tread. Is it difficult to just bring that up to the 10 feet? It's what, 16, 18 inches? Is that an issue to do that? Is that problematic for you?
I mean, it's not an issue, but my client would like to remain, to keep the existing construction as is, as it was existing. He's willing to add flood vents.
I mean, but for me, a reason to not do it and just say, because I don't want to, is not something that resonates with me. I mean, if you can pull it off and get compliance, why not? You're taking on a construction project, so an additional negligible cost and it would bring you up to an 8'1" ceiling height instead of
Well, that
Yes.
matches the rest of the house.
And it
Yes.
matches lines with the rest of the house.
Correct.
So it's like, it's calling out to be raised. You know,
But it was existing and it was built as existing and conformed at the time of construction. The second floor is not near the construction of the first floor.
so you have an application in to get a building permit to perform all this work.
Yes, the client already has a building permit that has started construction.
All right, so what's the status of the work now?
The second floor was framed and there was a front addition that was also framed for the footings. Interior alterations have taken place.
So this is what happens. You file an application, you request for a building permit, there's codes in place you need to comply with. And that's the opportunity for the municipality to make sure that you comply with the current codes.
As we did
This is
with,
done.
as
Mr. Khan, let
we,
me finish my thought. Hold on.
yes, sir.
So then you're taking on all this work. I don't know how much it's going to cost, if it's 200,000 or whatnot. What is the cost to raise that floor and get that code compliant with the 10 feet that the code requires?
In the sunroom.
I missed that.
In the sunroom.
In the sunken sunroom,
The
yeah.
sunroom,
I mean, we'd have to get some cost estimates for it.
but
Okay. I mean, I'm trying. So that would require, I don't know what the dimension is. I do the math. So you're going from 8.6 elevation to 10, right? And that would need to be, I don't think there's windows on the exterior wall that would be affected, the windows?
The windows would not be affected, but they would need to be tempered. The door would have to be raised and a stoop created outside.
Well, this is why we talk it out. That's a very good point, Mr. Khan. So if they raise the floor, there's an 18-inch requirement to the glass, that the glass would need to be upgraded to be safety glass.
Correct.
So that's an additional cost as well.
Yes.
The ceiling height,
For building the floor, raising the door, and a new stoop. Correct.
okay, so that's one request. You said you would do the flood vents?
My client was more than willing to add the flood vents in the sunken living room space.
I have a question. The sunroom is existing today, right?
Correct. Would you like me to show? I have pictures of the existing dwelling. I can share my screen and show you.
Sure, you can share your screen.
Okay. Just the share button screen.
Can you hear him okay? Is it challenging? Yeah.
Do you need me to raise my volume?
Yeah, that could help.
Is that any better?
We can hear you. We just do the best we can. Maybe talk a little slower.
Okay, I'm sorry. My
No
voice.
problem.
It's not great in the winter. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna open up the pictures of the dwelling. So this was the house as it was pre-construction. This is the sunroom in the rear, and this is that's the access to the basement. I guess we'll speak about that later. So this is the existing sunroom in the rear.
You're an architect, right?
Yes, sir.
That door is screaming out to be raised.
What?
I said that door is screaming to be raised. You could see it.
Oh.
The window.
Oh, sure. I know it should be at least a minimum of 8 inches.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I don't want to jump around too much, but I mean this was the basement. And we
Yeah,
can
we were
share-
gonna touch on the basement next, but that's okay. You can share the photos.
I don't want to jump around too much.
We're following you. So, yeah, we get the fact. So the sunroom was existing. We know what you need to do to get compliance there and what would happen if you did make that move. And as far as the basement's concerned, there's no internal stair, it's just that Bilko door on the outside?
Yes, correct. There is no internal stair, and as you can see from this picture, it is a very small footprint. They got most of it is really, crawl space, duct shelf construction over here.
One second. How did Quag do in the storm in 2012? How did
My
they,
client sent me an email stating that there was no flooding previously. This email he sent to me on November 18th. Let them know the basement has been here forever, built with the house, and so has the back room. We've never had a flood in either one, which should
so
be.
no water in the basement?
He said no. That's what he said. No water in the basement. I would assume that includes the Sandy.
And you would, the client would be okay with the condition that the basement need to remain unfinished?
Yes.
And
Yes.
storage only?
He's 100% on board with never finishing this basement. I'm not sure if you guys have a copy of the survey. If you have a copy of the survey, you'll see it's a very small parcel, and the main reason he's fighting to keep this basement as is because he literally has no storage at all for this home. There were other zoning requirements that had to be from the town of Southampton, and he has there's no attic space at all. The house had to be much lower. There's no attic. There's no space for sheds. He's on the water. He has to put in 20 feet of seagrass. He can't even really put a shed anywhere on this parcel. Storage, and he just wants a place to store his outdoor furniture.
What's all those red marks on the survey? Is that from the town or the village?
No, I think that was the surveyor's color choice. Survey new.
To match the stamp.
I guess his hatches was just red to show out the new construction.
Okay.
Okay, so the main dwelling, that's the second floor addition. And then we had a second floor balcony that was added over the sunroom. And I'm guessing he's showing the seagrass from the wetlands requirement.
And your conversion of the garage complies? It's at elevation 10?
The garage conversion, yes.
Okay.
The storage in the front, the 5-foot bump, that is at level, but is a garage. It's unfinished. It's unfinished, unheated, uninhabitable.
So where were you putting these proposed flood vents? In the sunroom?
We're open. I can put them on a couple of different locations.
So speaking for your client, you'd rather do that than raise the floor?
Yes. Yes.
Would there be flood resistive materials required? How do they do that with existing construction?
The construction was existing.
Below the design flood elevation, you need flood resistant materials, and you don't have that, right?
No.
You have a slab on grade, but then you have about 18 inches of construction.
Correct.
So that would be a variance request too.
Is that separate? I thought
That would be a variance.
I thought that would be part of the sunroom request. The floor less than.
I got it. Everybody else clear on what's going on? Any other questions?
Boiler is where's the boiler located?
I'm sorry? Say again?
Where is your boiler located? Or the boiler, sorry, it's not yours, but.
I believe the new HVAC equipment was going to be located outside at the flood elevation of 10.
Yeah, well, that's the requirement.
No mechanicals inside the basement. Any electrical or plumbing going through the basement flooring would be flood protected. electrical plumbing.
I got a tough question for you, Mr. Khan.
Yes, sir.
In the sunroom, you have like duplex receptacles around the perimeter of the room for code?
I'm unsure where they are located.
I'm asking how high above the floor are they?
That
You know.
I'm unsure where they're located, but if that is a condition, we can raise the outlets.
All right, we're gonna go arm wrestle this one and we'll come back with a decision.
All right, thank you.
All right, you got it. Hang tight.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Okay, we're back on the record with respect to petition number 2025-0698. Mr. Jerry Perino. We are adding another request in the variance regarding the flood-resistant materials, and I'll read that into the record. Petitioner is seeking relief from 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.1.3, and I don't think I updated that in my visions. I'll do that as I move along. What is that? R322.3. Okay. NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.2.2, and NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.1.8. The board makes the following findings. Number one, the petitioner, can you mute your mic, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Number one, the petitioner has indicated in testimony that the proposed comprehensive renovations, including first and second floor additions, will constitute a substantial improvement. Number two, the existing dwelling is currently designated as an AE8 flood zone. Number three, the existing first floor elevation conforms with the required design flood elevation of 10 feet, NAVD 88, except for the proposed first floor front storage addition, the existing step-down sunroom, and basement. The sunroom has a design flood elevation of 8.6 feet, NAVD 88. The proposed storage room is approximately 8 feet, NAVD 88, and the basement level is of 1 feet, NAVD 88. Number four, the existing basement is currently unfinished. The petitioner has stated in testimony that the property owner is willing to agree to the basement remaining unfinished storage. Number five, the existing first floor level of the step-down sunroom is above the FEMA base flood elevation of 8 feet and NAVD 88. The board considers that an additional variance may be required if non-flood resistant materials are utilized below this DFE. Number six, petitioner has stated in testimony that the subject dwelling had not sustained flood damage from the 2020 superstorm. And number seven, the local code official supports the granting of a variance by the Department of State in this matter. So with respect to I got to fix my (2.1) item 3, right?
Yeah, it's parentheses 3.
So with respect to 19 NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.2.2, Section R322.2.1, Item 3, and Section R322.1.8, the board finds strict compliance with the provisions to the Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code would entail practical difficulties or necessary hardship and would be unnecessary in light of alternatives which ensure the achievement of the code's intended objective, or in light of alternatives which, without loss in level of safety, achieve the code's intended objective more efficiently, effectively, or economically, and would be physically or legally impractical. And the granting of this variance will not substantially adversely affect the Uniform Code's provisions for health, safety, and security. So wherefore, it is determined that the application for variance of the provision from the provisions of NYCRR Part 1220, the 2020 Residential Code of New York State, Section R322.2.2, R322.2.1, item 3, and R322.1.8, be and hereby proposed to be granted with the following conditions. Condition number 1, that the basement shall remain unfinished, non-habitable space for storage use only, and shall be indicated on the certificate of occupancy issued by the AHJ. Number 2, that any electrical and mechanical equipment and devices shall be located above the required design flood elevation of 10 feet, NAVD 88. Number 3, that the code required flood vents be installed in the step-down sunroom in accordance with R322.2.1 of the 2020 Residential Code of New York State. Number 4, that all material below the design flood elevation shall be flood resistant except for the finishes. And number 5, that in all other respects, the applicable provisions of the uniform code, the current uniform code, shall be complied with. I need a motion to approve with these conditions.
Motion.
We have a motion. May I get a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion is approved with those conditions. Furthermore, it should be noted that the decision of this board is limited to the specific building and application before it as contained within the petition and should not be interpreted to give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application. So there you go. We had the approval with those 5 conditions. Mr. Khan, you have any questions?
I believe you were stating that the elevation was at 8, but I believe it should be at 7.5.
Was that for the storage room?
The sunroom, correct?
The sun,
Sunroom.
Yes.
That
That was per the flood elevation certificate. Section C, number 8, number B, the top of the next highest floor was 7.5 on the flood elevation certificate.
No, we had, is that the base flood elevation or the design flood elevation?
The design flood elevation is 10, but on the elevation certificate, flood elevation certificate. If you want, I can share my screen.
No, that's okay.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that it was the 7.5.
On top of the next highest floor is 7.5.
what are the drawings?
It would also state 7.5. I'm almost positive I triple checked that before I sent
Okay,
them.
yeah, we want to get our findings correct, so give us 1 minute,
No,
please.
no, I know, that's why I just wanted to mention.
Yeah, no, I
it.
appreciate that. Definitely
Yeah,
appreciate it.
that'll be a whole nother process to go through. Thank you so much.
I'm going to go off the record for a second, okay? Actually,
I'm here.
we'll do that off the record.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Want to do it off there?
we're going to do that off the record. We're just going to have a dialogue to get some facts straight, so.
Off the
Can we,
record then
we're
again?
go- We're going to stay off the record, Lola? Thank you. So with the new information going from the 8.6 floor elevation of the sunroom to the 7.5, as indicated on the elevation certificate, that would change our finding number 3, which I will reread. And I think we changed number 5. So 1 stays the same, 2 stays the same, 3 is as follows. The existing first floor elevation conforms with the required design flood elevation of 10 feet NAVD 88, except for the proposed first floor front storage addition, the existing step-down sunroom, and the basement. The sunroom has an elevation of 7.5 NAVD 88. The proposed storage room is approximately 8 feet NAVD 88, and the basement level has a 1 foot elevation of NAVD 88. Number 5, finding has changed to the board considers that an additional variance may be required if non-flood resistant materials are utilized below the DFE. Those are the only changes in the findings. And then we move forward to our conditions. I'll read all the conditions again. Number 1, that the basement shall remain unfinished, non-habitable space for storage use only and shall be indicated on the certificate of occupancy issued by the AHJ. Number 2, that any electrical and mechanical equipment and devices shall be located above the required design flood elevation of 10. Number 3, the code required flood vents be installed in the step-down sunroom in accordance with section R 322.2.2.1 of the 2020 Residential Code of New York State. Number 4, that all material below the design flood elevation shall be flood resistant except for the finishes. And number 5, that all in other respects, the applicable provisions of the uniform code shall be complied with. I need a motion to approve with these conditions.
My motion to approve.
Ms. Bruce Lehman has a motion. Can I get a second? Mr. Pavone, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion is approved. And furthermore, it should be noted that the decision of this board is limited to the specific building and application before it as contained within the petition and should not be interpreted to give implied approval of any general plans or specifications presented in support of this application. Thank you for the correction. There's your approval.
Thank you, board. I really appreciate your time and
No
efforts.
problem. You're welcome, no problem. Okay,
Need to go off the record.
yeah, we have the last hearing. Who's here for 0796? Frank
You're off the
Vogel?
record?
For that case, yeah.
Yes, but you can just continue to the third case now?
I just wanted to, no, we're not going to. I wanted to see who's here first.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, we have the last, third and final hearing of the day. In the matter of petition number 2025-0796, the petitioner is Nicholas Petschek for Mr. Frank Vogel. So this is an appeal request. I'll do the best I can, try and read this into the record, and then we'll move on with the presentation. The petition pertains to an appeal request on the determination for a substantial improvement for a second floor addition to an existing one-story wood frame residence on timber pilings, approximately 2,277 square feet of total gross floor area, inclusive of basement space. Is there a basement? I don't know. The subject dwelling is located at 112 Spruce Walk, Fair Harbor, Fire Island, County of Suffolk, State of New York. This is an appeal request. We had discussed this before we came on the public hearing, and the board feels that the code sections cited are not accurate, but we will allow this presentation to move forward to try and clarify everything so we can make a determination. So with that being said, please tell us what's going on and we'll try and make sense of it. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you for hearing this. My name is Nick Petschek. I'm an architect, familiar with Fire Island, and I've done a lot of jobs over the years out there. The house at 112 Spruce Walk was specifically designed above the flood elevation and less than a substantial improvement in order so not to have to raise the existing house. The application was submitted to the town of Islip in February. It was then later requested to, it was thereafter requested that that the less than substantial improvement be verified with both a bid and a appraisal, which was done. That was completed, and then thereafter I was told that the addition of the stair outside the existing footprint would require variance relief. I spoke with the head plans examiner, who acknowledged the ambiguity between two sections, but said from their point of view that they needed to err on the side of caution and suggested that to apply for variance relief. If I've misinterpreted the code in some fashion, we would like relief in order to be able to access the second floor. And if there's anything in the submission that's not clear, I do have a computer model that I can share, screen share if you'd like, to explain anything that's going on.
So there was a bid and appraisal that was submitted to the
Town
town
of
of
Islip.
Islip?
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
in-
and there is no basement, excuse me. This is a house on wood piles.
I figured that. Yeah, it made sense. Do you have that with you today?
The appraisal?
The bid and the appraisal? Is that in the
Do
packet?
you have those files? I could forward them to you.
Excuse me?
Can you throw it on the screen? Can you do that?
Yeah.
If I, sorry, you asked for the one file I don't have at my fingertips, but I probably could find it.
Just to get started with this, Nick, I think if you just give us the numbers for now, and then if.
It worked out at about 40% is the percentage number.
So what was the construction bid?
Frank, do you remember off the top of your head?
We'll give you time to pull it up and read it. It's fine.
Okay.
It's important to get it on the record.
Okay, FEMA man, building con. Current standard preliminary. FEMA. No. I'll keep looking at it. Do looking for it? Sorry.
I mean, that's what this is about today, right? You're trying to qualify this proposed work as not a substantial improvement.
Oh, no, that's already been qualified. That's not an issue with the town of Islip. That they've already qualified that, and I'm happy to share that information when I
I
find
mean, you
it.
have a,
They came to the determination that it was 40%. Initially, there was, oh, here, preliminary cost estimates.
So did they issue some type of document that said that, like something in writing?
Again, happy to forward that to you once I find it. There was some issue as to what constituted, what was included within the value of the existing structures. There was some back and forth emails regarding whether the decking was inclusive or not. When they then talked to their the plans examiner, Michael Kluber, talked to some of his colleagues, including the field inspector, Lou Castronova, who verified that the decking is included within the value of the existing structure, and therefore that put the matter to rest, that the value, that the addition was only 40% of the value of the existing structure. And I'm happy to find that email string and forward it to you if you'd like.
I think you said the addition, is it the addition plus the interior alterations on the first floor? Or just the addition of the staircase and the addition of the second floor?
That the total project, there's very little, we're doing very little work to the first floor, as minimal as possible.
So it includes everything.
Sorry?
So it includes all the construction work under this permit,
Yeah,
and it's not substantial.
it's not.
It was determined that it wasn't substantial. You're looking for the forms. So what
I'm
are we?
looking The one issue became that the staircase went below the flood level.
Hmm.
And the code, to my reading, was it doesn't make sense that if you can put a second floor above the, that conform to the code, but you can't access it, it doesn't, the question becomes, how do you get to the second floor? And they, I mean, the only other way was if the staircase was within the footprint of the existing house, then it wouldn't be quote unquote an addition. But the staircase itself, to me, is still part of the project. It becomes a little bit gray as to why it makes a difference whether there's a difference or not, whether the staircase is inside the house or outside the house, doesn't seem to have anything pertinent to, flood mitigation.
Why would an application for a clarification on a code determination from a local code official come to the Board of Review?
That's what they suggested I do.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it right or the proper process.
But who is they?
The town of Islip.
Town of Iceland.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
to be
that
honest with you,
happens.
sorry?
It's common where it happens where they just punt it to us and it's like, all right, so we're gonna have to interpret all of this information to determine whether or not they're actually, interpreting it correctly. So it's really an appeal, because if it's not in your favor, what do we have to do? What has to take place? I'm trying to
Well-
understand how we got here.
I'm at the tail end of all this.
Because you're citing existing building code sections, which are for commercial, which is very confusing. I don't know if that substantiates your argument, just so you can cherry pick it for the argument, but it's really this technical bulletin, the definition of a substantial improvement, and the interpretation is really up to the local code officials. So why are you here in front of us today? You want us to make a final determination because the town of Islip couldn't do it? Is that what's going on?
I'm literally was given this direction that said either I could do this or go to you. I then spoke to Mr. Nation about it and then and I can't pronounce CJ's name, and was led to believe that this was the appropriate way to deal with it. Honestly, I would love, Fire Island falls under 4 different jurisdictions, depending on which hamlet you're in. Village of Saltaire, Town of Islip, Brookhaven, Village of Ocean Beach. If you talk to the code officials, they all have different interpretations of what these sections mean. And my interest is only in building, is getting the approval to build. And I'm happy to follow the code. I'm not trying to upset the apple cart. I'm trying to figure out how to get a building permit to move
Right,
forward.
but they already authorized, they already agreed that it's 40%.
Yeah,
Why are we here?
they
about the
feel
stair.
that if the staircase is outside the footprint of the existing house, therefore that it can't be outside. They believe that any addition can't go outside the existing footprint and be below the flood level, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
So what's the level of the first floor?
The level of the first floor is 8.9 MSL. The second floor addition is 2 feet, almost 2 feet over required 1.84 feet above the required level. And the staircase descends down, and the last 9 treads are below. The lowest 9 treads are below the flood below the required design level.
Again, I hear what everybody's saying, but if the code official is questioning that specific point, where is it stated on his documents?
I didn't hear the last thing you said.
If the code official in town of Islip is questioning the stairs, where is it on their documents? Because if I'm the plan examiner, and I'm looking at something and I need an interpretation of something, one, I would call the state myself and say, I view it this way, is this okay? Put it in an email to the state requesting an interpretation, because you may not need to be here.
I appreciate that, but I was told that they wouldn't proceed with, if we get relief from you, we are going to then have to go back to Islip to proceed with their review. They haven't done a plans review yet because they said you'll need this relief first, which to me is a little backwards.
And that's what I'm making the statement, because I think before it comes to this board for a public hearing, I think there's a level that might have been misinterpreted. but that's my opinion only, so.
I concur with your opinion, but my directions were very clear that I would need to do this first before they would continue with their.
All right, Nick, you know what you can do? You can share your screen and just point out these 9 rises or the step that they're
Okay.
qualifying as a problem.
Because in the alternative, sorry, I'm just getting to the share. Screen 2 is if we can get relief to have, this is let me just put on the existing house is this. We are, the decking exists, the secondary structure over here exists. We're taking off half this roof and adding the second floor addition. The staircase is right here and switch back, and obviously the floodplain. Slow. Let's try and get the floodplain on. Forget what level I put it on. Is about halfway up here. Do I have? Oh, wait a minute. There it is. That's the floodplain is this blue plane. So the top steps rise above it, but the lowest ones descend below it. But everything
that's
else
the
up here.
And that's
Is
the
it so
addition
far?
to the footprint, right?
This area right here is the addition to the footprint.
Okay, so what section are you citing for relief? Because I don't think that's an egregious request for relief.
Well,
So
then
what's the section? It's not
what
cited.
what code section?
Yeah, you citing relief for?
The technical bulletin, I guess, is relief from the technical bulletin, which says all any additions that sorry. If the addition is not part of substantial improvement, only the addition must comply. And meaning referring to complying with section R322.
Can you guys help us with that code section in the R322? Because I think if we know the site, and you know, it's,
I don't believe there's a section.
I think it's an interpretation by ISLIP, which is saying that it's outside of the footprint, right? So there's nothing written in here that outside of the footprint is,
how is it outside of the footprint?
because they're adding that addition onto,
Oh, that's what you mean by that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So what they're interpreting is that since it's not in the existing footprint, it's considered not covered by the substantial improvement. It's got to be.
No, that's two different things.
Well, it is. It completely is, but I think this is what
Oh,
the,
it's definitely an addition.
Yeah.
And then if it's not a substantial improvement, then we're looking at the addition.
yep, and that's it.
Then it's a relief.
Then it's a relief.
322, yes, says if the addition is not part of the substantial improvement, only the addition must comply.
Okay. So
So,
they said, I mean, we don't have the facts in front of us for the 40% evaluation.
yeah,
So if we take that on face value, it's not a substantial improvement, then the addition needs to be at the proper elevation. And if it isn't, it's a variance request. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So give us the section and the magnitude of the request and we'll get it done. Unless I'm missing
The code section that I would need your help as to what section that we are being denied under. I haven't been through, like I said, we've installed in ISLIP. They haven't reviewed it yet, so I haven't gotten a denial to appeal.
Well, then there's nothing we can do because we haven't.
Unless we could land on a section that applies to his little addition.
Yeah, and that's where my statement was before. I understand where you're going, but the code official, the plan examiner is required to give us the section of the code because that's the part. Now, if we give you something different and they don't agree with it, we're coming back.
So it's also in their application for a variance request, but this is not a variance request, it's an appeal to their interpretation. So if we don't agree to the appeal, we're saying that it is germane to a variance request, then we should know that section so we can grant the variance. So what is it?
I'm looking.
But we can't make that
We
determination.
can't, yeah, he's right. We can't make that determination until we know what they're stating that they need the variance for.
Well, maybe we can find it for these
Yeah,
guys.
I'm looking.
I mean, I totally appreciate your help here as you, I'm,
It's this
It's
highlighted,
this highlighted area.
of
This-
322, R322.
Correct, but I'm the person that's if I'm the person writing the section, I'm the authority having jurisdiction, I'm going to reference this specifically and say, I need an interpretation on this specific line. And
Yeah.
that's what's not happening. Because we're assuming that that's what they want.
They're showing us this.
But when I used to come in front of the board, I'd have the code official write.
You're on the record, right?
Yes.
So on the record, I just want to make sure, because you
Yes.
had my conversation.
No, I'm just saying, on the record, I'm looking for the plan examiner to provide us with the actual code section. And what should we be looking at? Even though he wrote it,
yeah, no, he did, we haven't gotten back review comments because they stopped they said they wouldn't proceed with a review because it needed variance relief. Now, the discussion I had with the head plan examiner was about this technical bulletin.
You just said the CEO said it was you need a code variance. So which code are we talking about? You know, like, that's what we're trying to land on.
Yeah, technical bulletin issue 2020-10, which says in addition is required to comply with the requirements of section R322. If the addition
That's
is
not a
not
code
part of a
section.
substantial improvement,
Yeah, he has it.
the
He has it.
addition
Yeah.
must comply. And they're considering this staircase as as an addition.
who brought the bulletin up to them?
They pointed out to me.
So,
the bulletin, this is Courtney. The bulletin is peculiar to an addition. And I guess what the town of Islip is saying is that little stair portion is the only addition that's taking place in this thing. Is that true?
No,
Is
they're
that
they're
the only
saying,
construction that's taking place?
yeah, Courtney, you're right, except let me qualify it. It's the only construction that is below the floodplain. The only portion of the addition that is below the floodplain.
But that shouldn't matter since it's not substantial.
Because everything else is.
addition needs to comply. So is it just R322 or is it one of the sections in R322 that we could cite to grant the
They
variance?
say on number 14, R322.2.1.
That's the section. Is
Yeah.
That's in the application.
That's in the
So
application.
is that applicable?
I'm looking, R322
You
point,
guys, because then that's,
It's elevation. It says buildings and structures in flood hazard areas, including flood hazard areas.
Yes.
we just had a case with that. Let me read it.
yeah.
Elevation requirements.
Yeah.
Eh,
Go ahead, Gordon.
There's mass confusion going on. A substantial improvement involves all the new work that is taking place, regardless of whether it's an addition, it's an alteration, it's whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's all encompassing.
They proposed that to Islip and with a bid and appraisal that they establish is less than a 50% qualification for not a substantial improvement.
Right.
So now the addition's being looked at because that's now going to be regulated under 322, right?
Okay,
Because it doesn't meet the DFE.
okay.
So rather than appeal an interpretation here, I think
Just give them. just
We
let them-
see, we know what the code section is. We just need the magnitude of what they're requesting, and if there's any kind of mitigating factor or something, and then hear it out. It's like any little addition you put on. If we want to accept the fact that the material that was submitted to the town qualifies as 40%. I mean, looking at the drawings, it looks pretty ambitious to me. There's an existing platform, I don't know, I mean, construction costs are expensive.
My concern is that the record isn't correct. Whether it be that we don't have the documents that were submitted to the building department,
We don't have.
okay, and also a proper narrative from the plan examiner to say, here's where I want you to give me some relief or appeal, or why are we here?
Right, we don't have that either.
Oh, he has the appraisal report up.
But what is this, is the cost of the,
Correct. So if you're gonna create a record, we create the record of everything that was submitted to the building department and say, here's what was submitted for that application. Plan examiner then will say, I reviewed all of this A through Z, and here's where I believe the section of the code is. I don't think we have that right.
You guys see where this is going?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what the next steps would be to, could you paraphrase
Well,
that one more time?
There's two directions this can take. I was trying to land on a code section that we could potentially cite for a variance. Other board members are feeling that there's not enough information to make that decision. So it's either going to be an adjournment, come back, talk to the town, get some more documentation for us, submit your bid in appraisals formally, not on screen, and then be heard, or take our chances in a deliberation for an approval or a denial. It's either going to be.
Excuse
Either
me,
way.
may I make a comment?
Sure.
Yeah, excuse me. I just have a question. So is this about so what you're basically missing is the proof that it's non-substantial? Is that what you're missing to make a decision right now?
Mr. Bavone just articulated that he needed more information on the record to make a proper decision on whether it is not a substantial improvement.
And Nick, will you not, do you have that email that says that it's non-substantial?
I'm looking for it. I don't know
Yeah.
if,
Because we got that information
I
from
found
the
the appraisal.
township that they decided that it was non-substantial, the project, right?
yeah. I have to go back through my email. Let me see if I could find. I mean, they came back and said it's 40%.
yeah, this is Courtney again. What we don't have is what's in the mind of the town. I don't believe that has been fully vetted. They're not here at this hearing to make whatever case they have against you. And it's very difficult for the board to make a determination in the absence of a proper code section and in the absence of any word from the local code officials as to what they're objecting to.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that has been made clear in this hearing. It's all very muddled.
Do you think we can get the code official to attend the next hearing when they come back?
Without him, I don't think we're gonna get any.
Oh, it would help, it'll help facilitate this if we
I mean,
can.
he certainly was invited to this one.
I think we should make a motion to adjourn this, and respectfully, we're trying to help you so that.
I
you can-
totally appreciate that. I
And
totally appreciate it. I understand that this process is not correct and that we've been given, I'm going to say misdirection, in the sense of that they needed to clarify what we needed to appeal, in order to make this clear. To my mind, from my conversations with them, that in reading the code, and that a non-substantial addition didn't need to conform. I thought that would resolve this all. But you need it, can I ask one question? Is the existing building code section incorrect?
Yes. Yes, because this is residential.
And
If-
the existing building code is commercial?
Yes,
The existing building code for residential is the Appendix J.
yes, which is also mentioned here somewhere.
Yeah, but the ECB, whatever site section you've been citing, that's for the commercial code. That's not applicable to this project. So what's going to happen today is we have a motion for an adjournment. I just want to talk about what we're going to expect when you come back. Obviously, can I get a second?
A second.
All right, Eric, we have a second. We're gonna move this hearing rather than make any problems and close it out for you. As you come back, I just had a question with regards to the stair, the space under the stair, because it seems like a very small request for an addition for the stair. So there's gonna be like, are there any flood vents? What's the material? Is there an issue with flood waters coming and going, that kind of thing? So if we can get that addressed, submit a formal bid and appraisal, try and get the code official involved, whether it's through this WebEx or in writing, his interpretation, citing proper code sections, and then the magnitude of the relief above the floodplain or below the floodplain, stuff like that, for us to really make a proper assessment
Okay.
and grant the variance.
And if you're appealing the decision of the building department, which you have every right to do, I think you should provide us with all of the documentation, supporting documentation, so that we could read that and make sure that we can use that to address your appeal. And if the appeal doesn't go through, then what are we doing at that point? Are we going for a variance, or are we denying it? The more you give us, the better it would be at the next hearing.
Okay, I will get together the appraisal, the correspondence, I said, determining 40%, to put all of that part to rest, and then I need some clarification from Michael Kluber and Rob is his name, as to the staircase being outside of the existing footprint and what code section they're citing that we need variance relief from.
Yeah, and if you disagree with that, just articulate why you disagree with their interpretation.
Okay, and then as far as materials, I did listen to the two previous hearings. Obviously flood vents are very easy to put in here, and as far as materials go, it would be nice to be consistent with the wood floors that are there at the staircase that's there, but those are minor. The major thing is the location of the stair itself.
I agree.
And sorry to keep interjecting into this, but this is Portland again. If the problem is a statement in the technical bulletin that says if the addition is not part of a substantial improvement, only the addition must comply, then the addition can be included in the computation of substantial improvement. And it would be a part of the substantial improvement.
It is
So
included in all of that.
that just disappears. That whole argument just folds on itself.
I kind of,
Just include the addition in the substantial improvement computation, and then the code outreach technical bulletin would agree with you. So if let's say it's 40%, and then the added thing was, I don't know, $2 more, just put the $2 into the original computation. And it would not be part of the it would be part of the substantial improvement. And then the code outreach thing would just disappear.
I'm not quite sure I follow your logic totally. I do agree. If the staircase is a separate addition, it clearly is not substantial. I don't know if it needs to be approved that way as a separate entity.
No,
Or
it's all
even if
one.
it's included with the addition, it doesn't become
Substantial
substantial.
improvement is a monetary computation.
Right.
It has nothing to do with square footage or anything like that. It has to do with the value. And so when you've computed your substantial improvement, you've computed a monetary
Yes.
factor,
Mhm.
you know? So, you know, if what you've said is the addition, you just take the costs for doing that addition, lump it into whatever cost you had before, and it would become, if it's less than 50%, then this whole sentence in the code just evaporates.
I mean,
Maybe it doesn't help their argument if they're at 40% and this addition throws it over.
If it throws it over, then no,
no, this addition,
40%.
was included in
time,
those
Nick.
numbers.
One at a time, hold on.
But the
Sorry.
40, my understanding of the testimony before was that the 40% was everything. The entire-
Yes.
So if that's the case, that doesn't even play. I think what I'm hearing is that we're being told that the plan examiner doesn't want to issue an approval because regardless of the 40%, he's saying something about some other section of the code which he didn't write down, or say, look at this because that's what applies here. And then the applicant has the right to do an appeal of that if they disagree with that, or just go for the variance.
It's a lateral addition. That's what they call it, right?
Correct.
It's not a dormer. It's a lateral addition. But that addition, with all the other work you're performing, should be included in one valuation.
That's correct.
And that's how, and then you get your bid with your appraisal and you determine if it exceeds 50 or not. And if you can't comply because it's deemed a substantial improvement, you come back with the code sections and request relief for what you need relief for. That's the way.
And if it doesn't, if it's non-substantial, is less than 50%, it should be approved.
Only the addition would need to comply, right? Because that's the way the code states it. If you're adding on, just that addition needs to comply.
Or even prior to us even hearing it, there was a further determination by somebody in the Department of State to say that is correct, what they're thinking, or they're not, which then would get further to them on a code opinion. Is that correct?
I think I'm beginning to perceive the conundrum, but if the code official isn't here to explain himself.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other part of this.
The code official needs to speak up to explain what they're afraid to determine themselves. It is, you said they refused to even examine before we determine something. That is what we have an issue with. So let them come and let them speak, and let them determine what is the section that they're refusing to interpret themselves.
That's an important action that needs to take place. As code enforcement official has to conduct their review and do their job, and then determine and highlight where they feel you don't comply. And then if you can't make those changes, because it's a hardship to comply, then you could seek relief at this board level.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it seems like they're punting to do that.
I agree. I felt like, why am I doing the legwork? I'm not the administrator. I'm the applicant and I'm trying to get a building permit.
We often get applications that people asking us to rescue them. And this is not the applicant rescue, it's more the municipality rescue.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Now you're saying you need more information, right, from the building department, from the town of Islip, right? Why they are not proceeding. So how can we get Michael Kluber, who is working in our case, who is our plan reviewer? How can we connect them with you so you receive the information that's required?
It would be through the regional office, and Mr. Ajoku has the case, so we can call CJ. And,
Okay.
And then to say, I mean, we would like you to do your review and commit to a decision of where you feel the code sections aren't complied with.
Okay,
And then you can
Gotcha.
make a proper application to the board back with CJ and
okay.
Or
So
maybe
you
you
need that
can-
information. You need to have Mr. Kluber get in touch with the CJ to explain where his issue is.
and any other items we spoke about
Yeah,
when you come back, just to have more information for us.
I understand.
I'll get
So
that
we
all.
have a motion by Mr. Pavone, we have a second
I mean,
by Ms. Schaub, so all in favor to adjourn?
I.
Aye.
Aye. So there you go. Look forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
you guys coming back.
I appreciate your time. Can I ask you one question before you leave?
Sure.
And I'll try and keep it really simple. If you have a one-story house of this nature below the floodplain and you do a lateral addition, forget the second floor, just a lateral addition of, let's say somebody wants to add a bedroom or something and it's below the floodplain, does that need variance relief?
Courtney, you want to answer that?
I think that exactly is what the technical bulletin was written to say. That means relief. However, and this board has granted relief for it several times. So
I appreciate you granted relief, but as an architect and having somebody come to me, if somebody says, can I do this? Do they need relief or should it be granted without relief?
It's not as of right.
This technical bulletin would insist that you come to the board. If
To
that
get
is-
to
yes.
get relief.
Yes.
Okay.
And if I add color to that, a freeboard request is better than a BFE request. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because you got the two,
Usually,
New York State 2 foot on top of the base flood.
yeah,
If you're looking for a base flood variant, I mean, it all comes down to how much work you're doing, so.
yeah, no, I totally appreciate it. I wish the code was clearer.
Yes, we all do.
Any changes in the 2025?
A few changes.
So we have a new code coming January 1st, 2026. It's a whole new family of code, so maybe R322 has changed a little bit. I don't really know, but
I haven't seen obviously I haven't seen the final thing, but the little bits that I have managed to find through AI online indicate that this technical bulletin may get retired. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I will get you the information you wanted, the updated information you wanted, and I'll reach out to Michael Kluber to see if he can clarify the situation, give me something in writing.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.